We are here with the MVP of the JV Hockey Championship, Max Moskoff, and star of the JV Hockey team, Jack Solomon. So obviously you guys beat SAR in a big championship win. So how does it feel after just putting in all this hard work to finally win the championship, especially after coming so close last year?
Jack,
Either
you
you guys
got
take
it.
it first.
So winning this championship definitely meant a lot to everyone on this team, even the freshmen, especially everyone who played last year, didn't play last year. After that definitely upsetting loss against DRS, so probably just brought the hopes of everyone in the school up, not just us. Max?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it definitely felt a lot better because I didn't play last year. So, like, to really show what I could do and win a championship, it just feels amazing.
Yeah, so Jack, actually speaking of DRS, I'm actually in the DRS parking lot right now. Um, I think you had one of, if not your best game of the season here. I want to pick both of you guys in terms of the mindset going into the championship game. There's always a lot of pressure going into a championship game undefeated. Did that really phase you guys at all going in, or not really? It wasn't really at the top of your mind completing an undefeated season and feeling any pressure going in?
I don't think there was so much pressure on us about that season. I feel like it was more us knowing we can beat them and not letting ourselves down, knowing like we beat them and we're good. We just lost them, but we beat them already. Just knowing we can beat every team and we need to continue doing that is probably is what I thought.
Max?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. We accomplished ourselves through the whole season, and I think we had that same mindset in the championship game.
Yeah. So Max, let's talk about after the SAR power play goal. After that goal, SAR really started to pour on the pressure, but you made sure to stand guard and prevent any second goals from happening and preventing overtime, preserving the 2-1 win for the championship. How were you able to regather yourself, compose yourself, ensuring that was going to be the only goal SAR were going to score for the rest of the day?
I mean, I like to think about whenever I'm in net that what behind me when I'm guarding is like the whole score, like my family. So like I don't want them to get hit. So after I score a goal, I reset my mind, drink some water, just figure out what's happening and make sure everything stays how it's supposed to be and make sure I make saves.
Yeah, you guys were a lot of you guys played actually together last year. This is more so for Jack. How do you think that having this returning core was really helpful? And also on the other side of things, how did the freshmen play into things? Oftentimes freshmen have a hard time adjusting to the high school level from middle school. So how do they play into this championship win?
So though a lot of us didn't play last year, we still had big parts of the team last year, like me, David Allen, Alan Rosner played a big part. Maxie had a little role last year. Everyone played last year. I feel like it didn't phase as many people last year as it probably did this year. But this year we had a bunch of people like the Germazians, Catler, Kobe Shaffron, who had to step up really early this season, not letting us down. We had a little problem in the championship with Jacob Germazian getting a little hurt before, but that didn't stop Ozzy Mattel and Dovey Froelich trying to fight for that spot, and Ozzy Mattel ultimately coming out with that fight that he had with Dovey during practice, not actually fighting, but like showing who deserves that spot. And I feel like all the freshmen came in with the mindset of we need this and we can all play a part in this.
Yeah. So Max, talk to us about the coaches, Zvika and Zach Gibber. I think it's been quite a roller coaster ride when it comes to the JV hockey program, from not making the playoffs 2 years ago to squeaking into the playoffs and ultimately losing on a fluke shot with a few seconds left in the game, to then completing an undefeated season. What does that tell you about where the program has been the last couple of years?
It really says like how much they want to win, and because Zvika has won before, he knows what it takes. And I think Gibber's also been in that spot. He's lost before I think against Frisch a few years ago. So he knows what it's like and how bad he really wants to win.
Yeah. So a question for both of you. There was a lot of hype going into championship season. We had JV basketball in the finals, varsity hockey in the finals, JV hockey in the finals. You guys were the only ones that were able to bring home a chip. What's that feeling like?
It's definitely a very exciting feeling, especially walking around with the trophy the past few days, getting in everyone's face about it. Like, this is what you guys could have had, but it definitely is good for the school to at least have one of three.
Yeah, it feels amazing on and off the court with the trophy, taking pictures with everyone. And we're 1 for 3 this year. And everyone else that didn't win looks happy for us, I guess. So it just feels really good to win, to bring something home for the school.
Yeah. So in terms of the future of the program, what are you looking ahead to in terms of where the varsity could be heading? And do you feel like you're leaving the JV program in good hands as you make the jump up next year?
Yeah, I think it's in good hands, especially with the incoming freshmen coming in. We have a good group and coaches.
For varsity next year, I think all of us have gotten more experience. We lost last year, which would be the same team next year. And everyone's gotten better from going to not making the playoffs to making the championship for varsity this year, which is crazy. So I think a lot of the guys that we'll be playing with next year got a lot better, and we'll see that next year throughout the season.
Yeah. So Max, we'll see you put in the work over the off season. But Jack, you have a platform now to talk about the other teams that you're a part of at TABC as spring sports are around the corner. So feel free to give any shout outs that you like in that regard.
Shout out Captain Nate Brodsky of the soccer team, if he's listening.
All right, Ellie, any final questions for our champions?
No, any shout outs you want to get? Max, you want to give Jack in general?
Yeah, you guys, this is your moment.
I don't got anything.
Okay, it's all right.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for joining. MYHSAL stuff in the big championship, and hopefully you guys bring back another 2 championships in your high school career.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. That was a great championship interview.
So, shall we just continue on?
Yes, please. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors.
Okay, let's shout out our sponsors. Thank you so much to Hustle and Heart for sponsoring the Stormcast. We're very pleased to partner with them. Hustle and Heart is an elite athletic company designed to encourage and support athletes in reaching their goals. On June 22nd to the 24th, they'll be partnering with the HAL PTA to host a 3-day basketball camp for boys third grade through 8th grade, which will feature experienced Shiva League and Hustle and Heart coaches. Other events include the end of summer girls sleepaway basketball camp, and the boys sleepaway camp at La Vie, where the 5th through 12th graders can learn from top basketball coaches, compete with top Yeshiva League players, and also develop friendships for life. Hustle and Heart will also be running on March 21st, in just 3 days, a girls' varsity all-star game, where Team Yeshiva League will take on national players at SAR just across the river. Additionally, Hustle and Heart will host a middle school girls' Yeshiva League all-star game at Yeshiva Hated on May 17th. And to round things off, Hustle and Heart just finished their first girls' seminary league, where TVA beat MMY in the finals. Once again, thank you to Hustle and Heart for not only making this podcast happen, but also for all these great events. To sign up for any of these, click the link in the description of the video. And thank you to Tikvawear as well for sponsoring. Tikvawear is a clothing brand built around one simple idea: hope. Hope for the inevitable coming of Mashiach. Tikva means hope in Hebrew, and the brand is inspired by the idea that we are currently living in the footsteps of Mashiach. It's about staying connected, staying aware, and remembering that everything is part of Hashem's plan. Tikva focuses on clean and minimal streetwear with a simple message. Nothing too loud, just comfortable everyday pieces that look good and carry meaning. The goal is to make clothing that people actually want to wear. Just something simple, real, and meaningful. Click the link in the description or go to tikvawear.com to see their stuff. Okay, so we had 2 championship games, and we have a lot of previews to discuss. So, Oren, we just had the JV guys on. If you want to talk a little bit more about the JV game and how we won the championship. My first MYHSAL championship in my high school career. You want to talk a little bit about that game?
Mine too.
That's true. We came at the same time.
I was
Yeah.
here when we went a couple years ago.
Listen, I think going in to these championship Sundays, this was the team that we were pinning our hopes on. This was the team that we thought could do it, and they did it. I think they gave us a little bit of a scare towards the end. SER showed a lot of fight. I don't know about you two, but I think if SAR had gotten that second goal, I would have been very scared in regards to overtime. And that's why Max Moskoff was the deserved MVP. It really came down to a game of mental mistakes in terms of both teams, because all 3 goals were scored on the power play, and we just got one power play more, and that's what made the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we looked the better team for the vast majority of the game, but
Correct. I think SAR is not as deep as we are. I happen to think they actually had the best player on the court, and I thought that was Soniker. I think Soniker's issue was I think he's one line mate short of having someone who can complement him well up top. And, Allen and Catler did what they needed to do in regards to the man advantage. Max was clutch in net. And Schwabel and Solomon made some key blocks down the stretch in the back. And as great defensemen as they are, I wonder what they're going to do next year in varsity. They might transition to offense. Who knows?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be, meaning the sophomore grade and the junior grade, and both teams are really the backbones of each of their respective teams. So it's going to be cutthroat not only for roster spots but for playing time as well. Because there's guys, both these teams are 3-4 lines deep with guys playing from 11th and 10th grade. I mean, the varsity team only had 6 seniors, and not all of them played. I think only 3 of them played, and sorry, 4 of them played. Sorry, and the JV team only had a few freshmen. Only 3 of them played. So it's going to be cutthroat, and both these teams were championship teams. One won, one lost. We'll talk a little bit about the other one in a second. But it's going to be crazy next year. Shout out to the JV hockey team for getting stuff done, getting it done. Shout out MVP Max Moskoff. Shout out to the entire season. We're resilient the entire season. When they went down, never gave up. I went down 2-0 to after 50 seconds left. Didn't give up. We're down 1-0 to SAR. Didn't give up. Didn't let anything get in your head as they spoke about earlier. So really shout out to them. Any thoughts? Any final thoughts, Jonathan, over on the JV hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first. I think they were the most consistent team all year, and it's fitting that they finished the season as undefeated champions. And well deserved.
I got nothing.
Okay. Call Max Moskoff. That was not a shot. That was just because he said it at the end.
And listen, I'm very excited about JV when you think about the returning pieces, the Germazians, Eitan Naor coming in as a 9th grader. I think some people might already have back-to-back on their bingo cards.
Yeah. Coach Mo Fuchs has got a bunch of talent coming through, so if he's trying to recreate some championships. So moving on to varsity hockey, I guess. Listen, it was a disappointing loss. Jake Rubenstein goal 10 seconds in might have been the most electric moment of the season. The pit was rocking. I think Jaden almost put us up 2-0. Unfortunately did not, and I don't really want to talk about the rest of the game for many reasons. Different parts of the game for different reasons. Zach Field put a goal in later. The story of the season is the same as it's been all year. Actually, a little bit different, but can't capitalize on power plays.
Yeah, but you can't change the narrative based on this one game. You can't.
Most definitely.
You absolutely can't. This was a beyond successful season.
Yes, and I think there's so many factors for that. I just want to talk a little bit about the championship game. It's the problem is that the team with the same problems that plagued them throughout the season. It's lack of power play failures, lack of offense. A little bit different is that Saul Sandell. It was money all year. Again, I'm not blaming him at all. He allowed 5 goals, and again, this is just for the best offense in the league. I know you tried to tie on that Jack Leonard's the best player in the league. I think it's clearly Pomerantz.
No, I think I agree. I think Pomerantz solidified it the other night.
Yeah. And Margolis, I think, is a strong number 2, if not clearly number 3.
Four of their 5 goals were from ice players. So
yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Who's the last goal from?
The last goal was from maybe it was Lissauer.
Okay. Okay. again, this team, it's nothing to be ashamed of. They lost that team with a team that's basically a team of ice hockey players that almost won the New Jersey championship. There's zero to be ashamed of. Defeated SAR. Shout out to really Saul Sandell for carrying the team on his back, like behind the net against SAR. Seniors Jaden LaFeld, Danielle Kurtz, Jeb Field, Slomo Wenger, Dog all year. Really the seniors who we thought were a very weak class, not just because they were bad players, but because they're small, showed up in big ways throughout the postseason. Kurtz obviously had the big kill against SAR. Jaden, the captain, scored against SAR. Wenger was electric against Hafter. They all showed up in big ways in the playoffs. So really making a name for themselves in their final run. Final 5-2. They're going to be playing a Beitler, so they're not done yet, but they're going to be underdogs at Beitler because unlike last year where there was no DRS, I mean there is still no DRS, but DRS wasn't the favorite last year. It was the favorite this year. It's going to be Frisch and SAR. So we got to.
I don't think SAR is playing in Beitler this year.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay. I apologize for that. Still Frisch. So yeah. If you want to talk about varsity hockey, this is about the resounding success this year was.
No, listen, I think you hit the nail on the head. We all, I think JCap included, I think we all thought that like Jaden LaFell is the only competent senior hockey player on this team. And we were proven wrong. Shlomo Wenger is an absolute dog.
Don't hate on Kurtz.
And Kurtz really, I think Kurtz really went above and beyond this year in terms of his performance.
I think Kurtz should have got some more playing time this year.
But I think Kurtz was excellent.
He still holds a grudge about sophomore year about not getting enough playing time.
Right. Well, I think he was excellent. Especially on the penalty kill. And I'm always going to remember the way he played in that SAR semifinal game.
Yeah, I definitely think he should have got a little bit more run in the championship game.
Listen, this team was so talented. It's hard to criticize the coaching jobs that we've done.
It's hard balancing too when you have such a strong junior class.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, just I think Kurtz with the big body or whatever would have matched up a little bit better, maybe with Pomerantz. But
right,
I don't know.
Listen,
You
it's
never know.
5-2. You never really
Yeah, exactly.
know. And we know this coaching staff. We had Marty on last week, and Marty could not stop praising Yak, Mo. Just about.
I'm not hating on them.
Yeah, I know you're not.
No. Listen, it really was a Cinderella run, and the clock struck midnight, and they fell one game short. That's all it was. And Frisch, I think if you ask anybody on our team, they know Frisch is the better team on paper.
Marty said that last. Yeah. Marty said that. Yeah.
Right.
You never heard players on the team saying that.
So and frankly, SAR were a better team. SAR were a better team on paper. You know.
Yeah, but they beat Frisch, and they should have beat them a second time. SAR. And this season was a resounding success. There's no way around it. Every single player on that team should be proud of themselves. Two of the best moments this year have come from there. The SAR win was electric, and Jake scoring 10 seconds in or 30 seconds in, whatever it was, might have been one of the best moments of my TNBC career because the way Frisch was just, again, it's not just
they were shell shocked. They really were.
They were shocked. We walked in there and we looked like a more prepared team. Frisch locked in, obviously, and when they lock in, they lock in. There's not much you could do about it. But we were locked in, and that was electric. So. Shout out to the team. And I think you want to move it on to our main interaction, I guess, talking about Sarachek tomorrow night, opening things up against Jewish culture. Oren, you did not predict, but no one on the Sarachek predictions committee predicted TBC to win. But there were some close predictions. So if you want to give us a little bit of a preview on this Jewish culture team and what we could look forward to tomorrow night, maybe just some general Sarachek preview as well. I know Sarachek's probably the biggest Yeshiva League attraction of the entire year. So if you want to talk just about Sarachek as a whole, maybe some the early favorites, teams you think could pull off a Cinderella run, etc.
Well, I'm already predicting now that DRS will be in Tier 1 this year.
Watch Simon and a little Daniel Levy are listening to this. So
yeah. Listen, first off, 8:30 tomorrow night. Would love to see as many people there as possible. Once Sarachek is around the corner, we come to the acknowledgement that this is the end of big pits, so let's get one final big pit this weekend throughout the course of Sarachek. Listen,
we'll have 4 games, so we'll need 4
God willing.
big pits.
God willing. Listen, culture, it's their first ever Sarachek appearance. They played in multiple out-of-town tournaments throughout the year. They have a lot of size. They have good 3-point shooting. Players to look out for are Kahan, Hazan, and Jojo Alfasi, who actually played in the Yeshiva League a couple of years ago for Waterbury, if people remember that name. Um, yeah, listen, we might be the lowest seed ever for a defending champion, which is crazy, being at 13. Uh, Obviously, you're going to traditionally pick the 4 over 13, but at the same time, this is March. Anything can happen, you know? Uh, Faber, I think, was dealing with some injury problems, but he should be locked in and ready to go. Borgen's ready. I think Knopf is going in with a chip on his shoulder after the disappointing early first round exit against SAR. And we will see what happens. And, yeah, definitely not going in as favorites, but I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's really the inverse of last year. Last year we were there's some things like that. We were the 4 playing the 13. This year we're the 13 playing the 4. Inverse of Frisch as well. They were last year the 14 playing the 3. This year the 3 playing the 14. So we'll see. Jonathan, this is your final Sarah check. So if you want to share some of your thoughts going into the Sarah check, maybe some teams you're watching out for.
I don't know. I mean, fortunately, it's not at that point. It's no longer gonna be Adar. So I don't know. I don't know
Right. We can't
the
do Bishanish
miracles.
Masad chance tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Um,
it's Nissan tonight.
But it's
I don't
still
know if the
March. It's still March.
Vinahafu will still be around to flip the seeds to win. So I don't know. But
I mean, yeah, like
hopefully we can pull it off.
Rashi and Sefatanis, right? It's that with the Simcha of Adar is manifested not because of Adar, not because of Purim, because of Smicha Gula, because of Yemei Simcha, Yemei Gula in Purim, Purim and Pesach. So maybe the Nafochu also can carry over into Yemei Nisan. So maybe. Or any other thoughts on Sarachek as we're maybe this time?
Listen, I think there's a lot of parity. Yeah, we're not a favorite to go far, but teams 1 through 13 are fairly deep. The fact that Frisch is the 3 seed and we swept them, we should not go into this tournament fearing anyone. We have the pieces. But I will say to our fans who regularly watch, tanking this game to play for tier 2 is a brick in my opinion.
You changed that from a week ago, by the way. But generally, I think winning tier 2 is still a big accomplishment. Like I think there's two sides to this. Okay, on the one hand, we shouldn't tank to win tier 2, but winning tier 2 is still a big accomplishment. DRS was in tier 2 last year, was playing the starters, and did not win tier 2. Tier 2 is not an easy thing to win. So if once we're in tier 2, 100% winning tier 2 should be a big accomplishment, and you guys should show up to tier 2 games. But by no means is that saying that that should be our goal. Meaning that's a sad goal to go for. No one's hoping for that. But yeah,
Right. And listen, these guys for the when they go into the gym tomorrow night, they're going in as defending champions. So you have to embrace that aura and you have to act like you belong out there.
Oren saying aura in 2026. It's not on my bingo card, but
Am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying that though?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
You have to. You're defending champs. Act like you're defending champs. Act like you belong out there.
Yeah. So we hope tomorrow's gonna be an electric day of basketball. Kind of like probably the best basketball day of the year in my opinion. March Madness for a Jewish high school.
I'm not sure that's a win for Sarachek, by the way.
Yeah.
I think it was more beneficial for them when they overlapped with the Sweet 16.
Yeah, probably because also less games and but like also the first day of March Madness is just so much energy around it. It might take away from the energy from Sarachek. But I'm very excited. It's gonna be a great day of basketball. I might not be locked in class. Please don't check on me in the class. But it's gonna be a great day. Tish Joey Newcomb at the end of it. I think during the end of the GBC game, so I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do there. But it should be a very exciting time. Hope to see you all there.
Well, don't stay too late because if we win tomorrow night, I think we'll play Friday morning at like 10:30.
10:30. Yeah, I like that this year. I don't know if you saw. I think in the past they didn't decide like the winner, like which game already is going to be which slot, but they announced on the YU website which slot is going to be which game. So that's actually very nice. So And then, Ogren, if you want to take it to spring sports, talk about you're in the greenhouse right now. Talk about
I am in the
volleyball
DRS
games.
parking lot. I am here for our volleyball team's first match of the season against DRS. In regards to other sports, varsity soccer 2-0 right now. JV soccer won't begin until after Pesach vacation. Flag football had a bye. They canceled their games so the boys can go out and support the varsity hockey team. I think they'll play this Sunday night in 2 games against MTA and Kushner. And it appears that our other outdoor sports teams, tennis, softball, and baseball, will not begin until after Pesach vacation.
Softball practice this Friday. Let's go. Shout out Isaac Forgash.
Well, depending on whether or not you have the votes, right?
We don't have the votes.
We might have a
Shout out-
scrimmage on Friday.
What was that?
We might have a scrimmage on Friday with a special guest appearance. Catching
And who might that guess? Joey Weisberg.
Shia Forgash. Joey just got
Ah, yeah, it was great. It was great seeing a lot of the alumni today. In fact, Yona Mandela, Al Kinderler, Ben Sion Kaiser. If they have some eligibility remaining that I'm unaware about, would love for them to suit up tomorrow night against Jewish culture.
Yeah, so first Sarah Check game starting in 10 minutes. Hopefully this gets posted by tomorrow night. Thank you all so much for listening, watching. Freilich and Chodesh. Freilich and Chodesh, okay. Good Chodesh.
Yeah, my pick is JEC to beat Hank, by the way, in that playing game.
Yes, I saw that. I think everyone picked JEC. But just random question. JC called up JV guys for the game?
Yeah, I'm surprised at why you approved that.
Yeah,
I don't
Did
know.
you call up Ezra Adams?
Hashtag LOL tier 2, who cares?
Exactly. If you want to know why we don't want to win tier 2, is because 0 people, no offense, there's going to be a lot less people watching the game tonight than the MDY Flatbush last year. Or even Frisch DRS or whatever it was 2 years ago. That's going to be, that's 100% true. And that's why we're aiming for tier 1 and not tier 2. And have a good night, everyone. Let's go Storm.